Hello, everyone. Here we are again. So this week, today is June the 2nd, and we this week's GenAI Weekly is the number three. So it's been another week into the AI world. There's been some news, but not a lot. Um, so first one, this one, oh, probably this week session is going to be much shorter than last week because it's only been a week and there's not a lot happened this week um, comparing to the last one. Uh, I think it's because Google I/O was in the last week, um, and there are a lot of competitors. They try to um, announce do their announcement before prior to Google's. So so they are ahead of them, and even if their model is not as much as good as theirs, it's not gonna be too bad. Okay, so this week the first news is DeepSeek announced their um, upgrade to their R1 model. Their R1 model, when it came out, I think is very hyped because it's very popular in China, and because it's the first reasoning model that Chinese company invented or trained. Um, yeah, so so now they have upgraded their model, but it's still R1. So some maybe suspect there it's is te I mean it was going to be R2, but because it wasn't as good as they expected, so they still named it R1 and just put the date on uh on their version number. So now it's R10528. Um, and when I checked the leaderboards, they because I think because this model is only announced maybe 3, 4 days ago, um, so it's still not in the leaderboard. But when you want to check, you can check these three leaderboards that I think is the most um, famous ones. So one is the Web Dev Arena leaderboard and Ada programming leaderboard that I keep a close eye on. Um, these two I already showed you guys last week, and I so this week I add this. I think I need to add this one. This one is the most I think the, the most famous leaderboard of these three. It was the earliest as well. So this one is from LLM Arena, LM Arena. So they invented the way to let user um, compare um, responses from different models blindly because so when you so I'll show you. So it, you can type some question in and there will be two responses from different models, but you don't know which model the response is from. So and you can give them a score. So yeah, so it's very innovative way to and very how to say um, it's a good way to judge the models. So this and they come out with a leaderboard with different aspects. So it's good to refer to. Um, from from what I can see, the DeepSeek R10528 is probably still the second tier in the leaderboard. So first tier is like I mentioned before, it was Claude 4, either Opus or Sonnet. But I'm using Sonnet. Sorry, I'll share the link to this live session. Sorry. Okay. Where were we? Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about this one, right? Yeah. So in the first tier we have Claude 4 and Claude 3.7, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and GPT 4.1. They're definitely the first tier. And the second tier, we probably have the R1, the R1 and the V3, and these models. Um, yeah, I personally tried all of these ones, but I haven't tried the the Q the Quen the Quen one and this one this ones. I think they're probably the third tier behind them. Okay. Um, yeah. So that's about the new DeepSeek model. I think their advantage is not they it's not how advanced the model is, but they have a like a very innovative way to train the model and um to sorry there's some yeah so they've made the model to be very cheap and very accessible. I think that's their contribution to the AI world. Okay, the second one I'll show you here. So is the sign gemma that Google um, announced 1 day ago. So you can see it's using a gemma. It's a variation of the gemma model, which is a very small model that can be installed in your phone. So this one it's called Sign Gemma. So it's using um, visual model uh, to translate to translate the sign language from video to text. So it's very promising. First, because of the application to translate sign language, and second is it can be installed and used in a mobile device. So yeah, so you can see, and probably later they're gonna maybe put it in their glasses. So that's gonna be very potential, right? Let's have a look. You see, they included facial expression and also maybe probably some lip reading. and also um, sign gesture reading as well. Okay, so next I'm gonna talk about my projects. So this week I mainly focused on the interview Genie 2. Um, yeah, I think I have achieved a lot in this week. So that's why I just did this GenAI Weekly in a week. That was the original plan, but the previous two weekly um, sessions were 2 weeks apart. That's behind the schedule, but now uh, keep I've kept up with the schedule. So let's have a look what I've done in this week. So I've added a feature to do multiple web instances for the app. Um, so this feature I call it synced prompters. So when you I'll show I'll probably give a demo. Oh, maybe I go through this. So synced prompters, and main feature I did is the Windows support. So now I previously was only Mac OS support. Now it supports Windows. So main thing I needed to do is the audio capture for the system audio, um, and some refactors were needed for compatibility. And I did a lot of UI enhancement, um, supported the dark mode, and I hide and show transcript and added some status indicators. Yep. So let's have a look what I've done. So now you can see it looks like this. This is the welcome page. Um, and you can see this part is the synced prompters. So there is a URL shown here. You can open. You see, it's gonna be a uh, welcome mess message, and it's gonna be connected to the main app, to the app, and then they're all synced. So later when the answers or transcripts show up here, it's gonna show on all the instances as well. And of course, you can use a phone camera to open it um, from here. So it's gonna be like this. So this is a mobile view. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably show here. And yeah, and you can see I have done the dark mode support. So you can toggle between dark mode and light mode. And also this one is follow your system. And there is some indicators for the multi-viewer prompter, multi-prompter, and uh, and the status of the AI session as well. Okay, so probably let's do a demo here. Let's click the start session button. Now it's listening to audio.
I have a new website and want to get a new SSL certificate. What is the process? How could I acquire a server port that is protected by SSL? I have a new website and want to get a new SSL certificate. What is the process? How could I query a server port that is protected by SSL? Now I'm going to ask a question about Linux troubleshooting. A user is unable to SSH to the Linux server. How do you troubleshoot? How can I determine what ports are open on my server? A user is unable to website to the Linux server. How do you troubleshoot? Customer is complaining his.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, so you see, yeah, so you can see that now it's showing only the answers, but you can click this button to show the transcripts as well. I think the transcript is not as good, still not as good because they are using a different transcribe model uh, at I mean they're using a different model for the transcription, um, and it's not working as well as uh, the main model, which is a multimodal model that can just process audio. So it doesn't need to transcribe the audio to give an answer. Okay, so I think for the users, the transcript is not as important as the answer. So I added this button to hide the transcript, and by default, the transcript is hidden. So the user can focus on the answers. And the main reason I added this um, synced synced viewer or synced prompter is because I want the user to be able to view the answer from different angles. So that will help them um, act more natural in the interview. And this was inspired by prompters. So when you see if in a maybe a presentation, maybe in a very important scenario, when you're on the stage, there will be prompters uh, uh, at a different angle, so you can look at them without staring at the same place all the time. So yeah, so with that inspiration, I did this so you can set up multiple devices and multiple screens and multiple windows to view the answers. And also they are all synced. And you can even toggle the UI and whether you want to show the transcript on different screens. Okay. Yeah, so that I think is a very good feature for the users. Okay, yeah, that's all I want to show for the interview genie, the progress of the interview genie, because I don't, I think I don't need to show the Windows progress because it looks the same as the Mac OS and behaves the same. So it's just on Windows. I don't need to show that. So my plan for next week is I'm going to work on the GitHub Actions to automatically build and release the app into GitHub. Um, and so now the current status of that of the building is I need to manually build this into distributable installers, and share it with my friends. Uh, yeah, so next I'm going to make a GitHub action and have it built on GitHub Cloud. And then I'm going to work on the key management. It's going to be very important if I want to distribute the app to wider audience. Uh, I need to manage the OpenAI key, and that with that I need to think about the profit model. If I want to make it free or or charge or one-off charge, or maybe do a freemium model. And the next I'm going to do a short video for the marketing. I'm going to explore the AI video generation tools. Yeah, so there are still some exciting tasks for me to do for the next week. So yeah, okay. So that's all for today. I hope this time is much shorter. Yeah, thank you for listening and viewing. See you next week.